bad combination of development, unfortunately. Gun is one of the worst companies ever. They genuinely suck as people. And I can't say all of them. A lot of them are just very unpleasant people. And they handle games terribly. They canceled their own Texas Chainsaw game because they just didn't like the player base. They didn't like the amount of people that were playing their game. And then we have IllFonic actually developing. And they are definitely more benevolent. Their intentions are far better, and they stick with games long after they're dead. But they've never really made a successful game. So we just don't have any really good combination with these developers. So without a doubt, they're going to hit the asymmetrical curse, and it's going to fail. It just is. There's no scenario where that game does well. And again, every time I say this, people always go, oh, Scott hating on other ASIMs again. It's like, dude, I'm not intentionally hating on it. I just know this is going to happen. There has never been a single successful ASIM game from other companies that had a better chance of doing it. You think Gun and IllFonic are going to nail this? No. And then there's always one guy, but Friday the 13th was super successful until the lawsuit. No, it wasn't. Before the lawsuit, the player base was steeply declining. It had like 1,000 to 2,000 players, which is not a dead game, but it was really heavily declining before the lawsuit even happened. I don't know where the revisionist history comes from with that whole scenario, but the point is they are not a winning game development combination. So the game is at some point going to die, at which point we're probably going to get Myers back in the game, just like we got Demogorgon back in the game after that license kind of fell through with whatever Stranger Thing game they were working on, and I guess that failed. So I think we're really going to get Myers back, but it really is just the simplest explanation. They have acquired the license for Myers, and what it really is, if we go full Occam's razor here, I think the simplest explanation is Behavior simply did not expect this game to last a decade. I don't think when they got the Myers license 9 years ago, they really expected that their game was going to last as long. So they probably had to I don't know the contract, and none of us will ever know. None of us will ever know what they have actually signed with all the Halloween-related IP and stuff like that. We have no idea, and we never will actually know that unless they explicitly tell us, which for PR, I don't think they ever will because they have no reason to. But all we can assume is that they just simply lost the ability to have Myers in the game because of a competing product, and that's basically it. So that's what's going on. I do think we'll get him back. It's really not a big deal. It's going to be like Demogorgon, in my opinion. Just a temporary slight decline in Myers players for a little while, and that's it. It's really just more bad news on top of bad news that we don't need with Behavior right now. But for the most part, I truly don't think it's going to be a big deal. But now let's talk about the actual ramifications of Myers being made an obsolete thing. That means his perks and Laurie's perks are going to be base kit perks now. That is actually a massive, massive change. So that means the perk Decisive Strike is now actually going to be a universal perk, which I think, strangely enough, is kind of a good thing. And we're going to veer into a little bit of a discussion on tunneling right now. I have always felt tunneling is not that bad to most of the player base. If you're new and stuff like that, you don't have perks, is different. Then it can feel really strong. But if you really, really hate tunneling and you aren't running tunneling perks, I feel like your complaints are just, they can't be taken as seriously because the game gives you the tools to deal with that, and then you choose not to, get tunneled, and then complain you didn't use the tools to deal with that. And I know there's always the common argument, but I want to, run a silly meme build every game. I don't want to have to run DS every game. Well, then sometimes you're going to have to deal with tunneling. Killers don't